Hi YouTube! They've just announced the final DLC for Expansion Pass 3, Secrets of Archmages, being released in just under a month on June 16th. So I wanted to make a quick video on it, just go over what's in it, some of my thoughts on what is, what isn't, and then see if any of the updates would just sort of immediately at a glance affect some of the builds I posted. So yeah, dev stream, gameplay stats, spread update, little plushie. I assume this is just their sizzle reel.
Long ago, the Wizard Kings etched their forbidden arts into the hidden pages of reality. That tome now lies open,
Okay, looks like
its
new
ancient
events.
perils lingering still. Will you
It's either a new
unveil
creature, a
the
new event.
secrets of the Archmages?
Yeah, there's just a little sizzle reel. Okay, so 3 more stories. It's always fun. 6 new tomes. Alright, so abjuration, create wards, and protections to preserve a unit. That seems very similar to Tome of Warding. So it's a tier 1 order and astral. So interesting. So it's another tier 1 astral tome that wants to sort of ward your units. We'll have to see how good it is. I mean, obviously they could put some ridiculous enchantment in it, and then it'll be great. But interesting. It kind of steps on the toes of something that's already there. I'm surprised they didn't just like rework warding. Gluttony, tier 1 chaos. The infernal domain of gluttony, making units tougher and stronger as they feed on mortal essence. I wonder if that has any synergy with like vampires, or if it's because it's the mortal domain. Oh, it's infernal domain, so maybe demons. But we'll see. Tier 1 full chaos tome. I feel like we have a lot of these though. Tier 1 chaos tomes. So we'll see. Obviously, you know, they could have some sort of broken enchantment or whatever, or even like the last DLC where they had the, it wasn't even an enchantment, it's just you research this and now all your units get like XP every round. Burning Passion, strengthen units for demonic wrath, seduce your enemies. Infernal Flames, so it's a tier 2 pure chaos. I get another pure chaos tome, which is interesting because they did rework the tier 4 and tier 5 like demon tomes last time, but like the demonic transformation still has such glaring weaknesses because of the resistances it loses, and the chaos affinity. I personally like it, but it's not like nearly as powerful as the stuff you get from the Shadow or the Astral affinity. But I mean that's been the case for every affinity that isn't Shadow or Astral. Um, so I don't know, but it could be good. I was working on because they reworked how dragons worked. Some sort of, I think I made like a post on it where it's you can do like a fire dragon build with Inferno and then sort of like scale burning damage across the army. Um, but I ended up sort of getting busy and not like finishing that. Maybe I'll try and like put something out on that, but that could be good there. And tier 2 is a nice place to be because a lot of the tier 2 totems aren't very strong. So it's easy to find sort of a replacement slot there. Tome of the Sprite is a tier 1 astral nature. Um, which is good because the Fey tome is like, yeah, powers of Fey. So the other Fey tome is the Fey Mists is tier 2, but that one's other than like one summon is more focused on like the actual mist mechanic, which has been nerfed pretty heavily. It's still all right, but we'll see if the sprites actually interact with that at all, or if it's just going to be its sort of own thing. Um, or maybe they'll decide to like rework the famous tome finally, because it was one of like the first tomes that got released in the early DLCs. But tier 1 and 2 good affinities there. Nature more so, not for the track, but just for like unlocking other tomes. Tome of the Weaver looks like a tier 3 Shadow and Nature tome. Just power of spiders, transform your people and travel women. Okay, so this is probably a major transformation. Um, and this it could be good for like the vampire spider build I put out, like the vampire beasts, because for that one tier 3 we were just using, in addition to like the beast tome, you used the tome of the cycles in order to get access to both like decaying on attacks and the Druid of the Cycles so that you can like cycle corpses to scale up your Cult of Death. But maybe if this has like a really cool spider unit or like some sort of enchantment regarding spiders, or like when your opponents are webbed, you get like, 20% damage, or like maybe like Tome of Shadows penetration or something like that. Could be really good. Um, the issue is like that was really leaning on like the vampires and the beasts, so any sort of major transformation doesn't really do anything because you're not really running units that are affected by major transformation. But we'll see. I mean, they could also, it's a tier 3 tome, so they might have some sort of like broken tier 4 unit that like buffs your spiders, and then that could see use. But it takes so long to use the major transformation, like so many turns in mana. But we'll see. This definitely could be good and could slot right in there and make that sort of a top tier build. And then Cosmos, it looked like here it was a tier 5 with one of every affinity. Yeah. So we'll have to see how that works as far as like unlocking it. The one thing that comes to mind is the Empire of the Cosmos, which I think this was like part of getting the DLC. What do you call it? Expansion pass, like the initial release. Um, and it's pretty strong when you get to two of each affinity. But the problem is it doesn't give you anything to start out other than one Astral Wisp unit, which is barely a unit. Um, but once you start getting a bunch of affinity, I mean, you can, if you use like a Dragon Lord, you can start off with like one of each affinity, right? Like a Hybrid Tome, a Dragon Lord. But then it just gives you mana. You really want to get to the two of each affinity so that you get 20 knowledge, which is essentially like two upgrades of knowledge buildings, which if you can get that early enough is super strong. And then Imperium later, obviously one of the most valuable resources, but it also lets you ignore the affinity of the tones, which is why I was thinking it might be the way to get to the Tome of the Cosmos. But we'll see. This is the first time they've added a new tier 5 tome to my knowledge, right? Tomes. I guess there's no way to like check from here, but I think so. So could be good. Um, it's gonna have to compete with the Astral Tier 5 tome. Although if you play multiplayer, a lot of people have that soft ban, so maybe that gives you another option um, as far as builds, because a lot of the times you'd have to path a different way just so you could get a different Tier 5 tome. Because although sometimes they just banned the what is it, like the time stop or the cosmic warp or whatever. So that's the tomes. It's a good chunk of tomes. I am surprised that like Abjuration. Um, I guess Sprite's a different tier than the Favors, but I think Abjuration definitely they could have just reworked warding. I think that would have been fine. And Gluttony, I'm not sure what this is supposed to be. It's just another tier 1 pure chaos tome. So we'll see. But these four look really cool. Um, Uh, okay, new landmarks, and we got them here. So this is just part of like the sizzle reel. Okay, broken wizards. So the landmarks are like the dragon bones and stuff, right? Where like you build around them and you get big bonuses as opposed to wonders. New infestation, Duathe. I assume that's just the Fae. Secret spells. Okay, so I guess this is like part of the map. You can unlock new secret spells. Shrouded Isles. I mean, this is probably just similar to the like the Umbral Realm. Like you just go into sort of like this pocket area. Hopefully, it doesn't have any sort of like astral poisoning or something. Because that was one of the worst parts of the astral realms. Was like if you didn't have some sort of adaptation or like way to deal with it, it was just a pain in the ass. Owlkin. I like that they've sent out like one new race per like DLC. Uh, it's nice to have like more options, and it doesn't seem like it's a lot of work for the art team, but you don't have to like balance it at all because it's just a visual. So that's like a nice thing that they add. Three more mythic beasts. Okay, but they're summoned. Because the current mythic beasts we have, you have to go underground and find them and capture them. But if you can summon mythic beasts with spells, That could change some of the beast builds. And it looks like, yeah, Immortal Wave and Weaver Spider. So Weaver Spiders. Let's see, does it show stats here? 115 health, so probably a tier 4. So yeah, that's a tier 4. Are Weaver Spiders mythic units though? It's not showing us. Um, but maybe that, yeah, I assume Tome of the Weaver, you might be able to like summon Weaver Spiders. Uh, so potentially could be really good vampire spiders going forward. And the Sun and Moon Guardians, just like mythical owl unions that show what kind of mythic unit. Okay. An Immolated Soul is probably just like some demon fire thing. Yeah, this thing. Interface skin. Maybe that's just like a UI update. New mount Weaver Spider. Um, it's gonna have to be hard for the Weaver Spider mount to compete with like the Dread Spider because web is pretty strong on the units that want it. But we'll see. It might just be like a skin. New music. Oh, that's nice. New icons, new realm templates, new traits. Oh, that'll be fun. Okay. And then the update in addition to the DLC. Okay. Empire Tree Rework. Okay. So this is going to throw everything into chaos then. So forget what I said earlier about affinities and all that because this is going to change everything. We've been waiting for this for years at this point. Um, and we'll see. I'd imagine they're probably going to take away death magic at a guess. They're probably going to move some of the world map casting points a little further up in the um, astral tree. Uh, the only other big thing is like the knowledge. What is it? The knowledge, the 100 knowledge when you kill heroes in shadow. Um, and I'm curious where they want to keep that because it's definitely a lot stronger earlier, and it does encourage like a nice little play style as long as you're not, just camping cities and letting them respawn to farm heroes. Actually, no, never mind. It doesn't encourage. I was thinking like it encourages you to go to war with empires, but that's never. You just abuse it with free cities. So we'll see. We'll see. I think Shadow Magic probably goes though. It's just too meta defining, and man, okay, that'll be good. Um, Updating Reaver culture, it's good. Definitely needed an update. Imperial, so that's basically what it already is, and then Federate alliances and vassals. Okay, so this is probably going to be a red Chaos Order faction. Alliance and vassals are power, diversity of strength. Okay, so this probably wants you to do multiple races in your empire then, which means yeah, so it's definitely gonna be order because you want the Tome of Subjugation has that one building that you can only build in like conquered cities of a different race. So that's probably going to be around like multiple races. I wonder if they'll have like discounted costs of racial transformations because one of the difficult things of having a multi-race culture is you need to like cast your like racial transformations on them individually, and that takes a lot of casting points. So we'll see if it can do anything with that. And then alliance and vassals, if we're reworking the order tree, we'll see. It could be good because it's right now the order tree is not good. Getting like 10 gold per vassal for like a tier 4 order tree is you know not as powerful as some of the other ones. New exotic mount traits. Okay. Wyverns in the base game. That's fun. Golden obsidian wyverns. Okay, so I assume these are going to be just flying mounts. Um, I don't think. Let me check them out. Yeah, I think I pulled them up here. So we'll see if they transfer any like immunities or resistances as far as the flying, because the current flying mounts, uh, they just give flying. So we'll see. They could just be flying. like skins, which is cool. Wyverns are one of the cooler mounts, but they could also have like resistances, like bone wyverns could give you like heartless because they're undead. We'll see. Infernal Juggernaut. Actually, I had this one pulled up as well. Uh, where is it? Here it is. So this is the Infernal Juggernaut. It's currently like a beast unit in the game that you can summon with like the demon summoning or call to vigor. And it's an elephant, but it's also an infernal fiend. So it's like a beast fiend. Um, and obviously you're not going to get like the attacks here. Although the dire wolf gets its howl, but I doubt you'd like get the stomp. Although stomp's not very good, so maybe. But I assume it's going to be similar to like the elephant mounts, or actually probably closer to the where is it the mammoth mounts. They are. Yeah, so like 10 hit points, 4 frost protection, juggernaut large target. Um, so I imagine it's going to be the similar to that, except instead of the frost resistance, you get fire resistance. Although interestingly, these guys also have vicious killer and vengeful flames. So I'd be curious if either of these get tacked on, because vicious killer is quite strong. Vengeful strains, it's okay, but if you can have it like as a just as part of the trait, it'd be like really strong because it'd be on all your cavalry units. Obviously, it still has the downside of like large target, like the other one does. So you take, and being a cavalry, you just take a ton of damage from spears, and you're easier to hit by range. But it does help with what is it called? Like casualties. You have smaller unit sizes, so we'll see how they turn out. I think the Juggernaut could be interesting, but it's probably not going to see. I don't know if it gives you like burning immunity, maybe. Let's see. Dev stream is Thursday, so 2 days from now. Okay, and then yeah, after the stream, they're gonna deep dive into new content. So yeah, we'll just have the traditional schedule, 8 a.m. There's a little plushie. I wish they'd do like not a wyvern, a slither plushie. I think that's my favorite like little unit. And then this is just a fun little like what are the most popular? Man, boring human. Feudal, yeah, feudal's just been so broken for so long. Um, Mystic, I assume this is when Mystic summoning was just off the rails. And then Dark recently got reworked, so it's probably pretty popular just trying the new ones, and they're both pretty fun. Tome of Faith, yeah, interesting. I thought it'd be Tome of Zeal, but I guess Tome of Faith people really liked. And then Evocation and Pyromancy, these are just two of the best, what do you call it, like damage enchantment tomes, because Evocation actually affects battle mages, and it's like one of the few ones that does, same with Pyromancy. Um, yeah. Mortal Champion, huh? Wizard King, Dragon Lord. I wonder if this is because a lot of players like don't have the DLCs because of how expensive they are. Um, so a lot of people just stick with the Mortal Champion after like the Wizard King rework sort of thing, just for like the bonus XP. Since XP is like a lot more valuable when they buffed all the like what you get when ranking up and stuff. And Dragon Lord just has always been insanely strong, even after like the nerfs they did to the early game clearing. Getting affinity for free, and it's easy enough to offset the gold upkeep once you get a couple of items going. Also, it's really cool. So, and it was one of the earliest DLCs. So, yep. Okay, so that's everything. Right? Yeah. Interesting. So we are getting the Empire Tree Rework. I think that's going to be the biggest thing, and it's going to sort of put a hold on any future like builds theory crafting until we get some details on that. Like at least like what their goals are going to be for it, if not like what they actually are have scheduled. Usually they'll announce like here's what we're trying to do, or here's like a first look. So we'll see. Reaver Rework's nice. It should be good. And then 6 tomes is interesting, and we'll see if they rework any of the other tomes as well. Um, but yeah, so that's the announcement. I just wanted to do a quick video, but it ended up being like 20 minutes. But hope you enjoyed and have a good day.